Hello students. In this video we're going to calculate and find percentiles using the paper method, which is a two-step process, and then we'll look at how we can verify the answers we get using Excel. So the example I'm going to use is the data set midterm marks of 50 people. We're going to look for and find the 68th percentile. So on paper, what we have to do is a two-step process. First thing we need to do is find the locator of that, the location of that 68th percentile. So the locator is basically take your percentile that you're looking for, divide it by 100. You multiply it by n, which is the number of pieces of data we have in our data set. We have 50. Subtract 1, outside your brackets, we add 1. So the locator of our 68th percentile is 34.32. So somewhere around that 34th position lies our 68th percentile. Slightly above the 34th position, just underneath that 35th position, is where our percentile is going to be. So let's take a look at the finding what value lies in the 35th and 34th position. In our data set, each row has a value, has 10 pieces of data. So there's 30, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Our 35th value equals 66. Our 34th value is going to equal 64. So then we need to calculate the difference between those values in those locations. So the difference, 66 minus 64 equals 2. Not sure what happened to my 64 there. So that's our difference. The next step is to take that difference and multiply it by the decimal part of our first answer we have. So what we're doing is this. Here's 0.32. We're multiplying it by 0.32, and our difference that we calculated up here is where we get that difference. So this value, 2 times 0.32 equals 0.64, and we always add that to the value in the smaller location value. So we're going to add that to this value here. So we get 64 plus 0.64 gives us the 68th percentile. 68th percentile exactly equals 64.64. So we can verify that answer using Excel. We go into Excel where our data exists. We can type in the Excel function, percentile. The array is when you highlight all your data. I have previously named my data, so I just have to enter the name of that data. K for the percentile is a decimal form of the percentile you're looking for, so I'd enter decimal 68, close my brackets, and I get 64.64 exactly. So now we know that the 68th percentile equals 64.64. So let's go back to our example. Let's find one more percentile. Let's take a look at the let's calculate the 23rd percentile. So I just got to quickly erase this. We're going to try to find the 23rd percentile. Knowing now how you can verify your answers using Excel, you could calculate all 100 percentiles on paper and then verify your results using Excel. So let's take a look at the 23rd percentile. That's the one we're looking for. So the location, the first step is to get a location value. So the locator is going to be 23 over 100 times n. N is 50 minus 1 plus 1. So the 23rd location the 23rd percentile is going to be located at the 12.27th position. So somewhere above the 12, below the 13th position. So let's take a look at what that 13th position equals and what that 12th position equals. 13th position, there's 10, 11, 12, 13. So the 13th position equals 51. The 12th position equals 50. We take the difference of those two. Difference equals 1. And we take that difference and multiply it by the decimal part of that location, 0.27. We get a value of 0.27. And then we add 0.27 to the smallest value in our location. We're going to add it to this one. So we get 50 plus 0.27 equals 50.27. That represents the 23rd percentile. We can go back here into Excel to find the 23rd percentile. What I'm going to do is go into that original percentile function, change the value of 0.68. I'm going to put in 0.23 in there, and we get 50.27. Exactly what we have there. So one more example. We're going to look for the 25th percentile. Let me slowly and carefully erase this. We're going to calculate the 25th percentile. So 25th percentile, first thing we need to do on paper is the locator. So 25, the percentile we're looking for, divide by 100, multiplied by n, which is 50, subtract 1, and add 1. The location of this is 13.25. So the 25th percentile is located at the position 13.25. Once again, somewhere above the 13th but below the 14th value. So we have the 14th value. We have the 13th value, so there's 10. Let's do this in a different color. There's 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. 14th position is 51. 13th position is 51. Because there's no difference, difference equals 0, there's no point in continuing. So the 25th percentile equals 51. When both values are the same, that's where the percentile is going to be located. So we can go back into Excel, into our percentile function we have there, type in 0.25 instead of 0.23, and there is our 25th percentile, 51. Now at times you could get a location value that does not have a decimal point. It might be exactly 13. If that's the situation, then you are also finished because the percentile would be located at exactly the 13th position. So in our example here, the 25th percentile, the locator of that is 13.25 right there, somewhere between the 13th and the 14th position. Because both those values are the same, that means that the 25th percentile is also the same at a value of 51.